Hello, this is Mike of Nearly Enough Dice. This is the Kerbal Space Program. This may look, to first glance, to be my Mun Hopper launcher, but it is in fact a Minmus Hopper. What is the difference, you ask? Well, I've got a contract to land a new surface outpost on Minmus, so it needs to have 5 Kerbals on it, or at least the capacity for 5 Kerbals. So I've just added the Mark 1.2 command pod, so that's a total of 3 extra crew that can go on there with the lander can. I only have a scientist and an engineer on board again, but as you can see there's a potential for 5, which is all that's required, and I've stuck on a docking port. Not that I don't need a docking port for this, and a docking port is kind of pointless. But you need a docking port for it to count as a base, apparently. So hopefully that is going to count, and when I launch it, I will be able to land that on Minmus, but it's the same standard mining thing, exactly the same as the Mun Hopper, except it's going to have an extra space for some Kerbals on it. Given that Minmus has got a lower gravity, everything should be a lot easier to work with. So hopefully that's going to make my life a lot easier. The main thing, I also have a contract to get ore from Minmus to Kerbal. Now this doesn't actually have the capacity to get all of that ore, but I'm going to have to I'm going to have to come up with a something to get that ore back to Kerbal anyway. So I'm going to have to make something that will be able to land next to this, get ore off it, get off Minmus, and get back to Kerbal. So that's going to be an entertaining thing. One of the other nice things about doing this is that I'm going to get rid of another, not just a particular contract, but a whole class of contracts. So I will be then able to go into my contract manager, which is, I'm not sure if it's visible on this screen, and turn off those contracts, because I don't want to get those contracts anymore. Contracts to build bases. I don't want to get those contracts. At least until I've done, I want to get more ScanSat, and specifically anomaly contracts is what I want. I mean, fundamentally, I can just go look at those anomalies anyway. But anyway, so this should be a fairly easy launch. Pretty much the same, except instead of going to the Mun, I'm going to Minmus. So turn on everything, turn on throttle, and hopefully off we go. So here we go. It was a pretty good launch. Not a huge amount happened, but you will see me from time to time playing with the new camera tools mod that I installed, which enables you to do funky things like automatic flybys. So unfortunately it's going to be very, very sped up, so you might not see. I don't know how quickly it's going to go past. It might just go whoosh and then you won't really see it. But basically what you do is you can click a button and set a camera, and it'll automatically put itself in a place where it'll do a nice flyby kind of thing, which is rather sweet. Yeah, that's me playing with there, and whoa, look at that! Look at that! Even sped up, that looked pretty cool. So I keep doing these because it just looks rather sweet. So it seemed to take quite a while to actually do. I don't know whether that's because it actually just took a long time, or whether my game was just running so slowly that it just felt like forever. But, you know, this is actually a really good launch. I ended up only having to spend less than 100 Delta V once. You can see how flat that launch is. Look how flat that launch is. So it was like 90 odd Delta V to finally circularize, which is not a lot.
Oh, that looks pretty. That was my fairings coming off. Oh, that looked very pretty. It was round about here that I realised that I had forgotten to depower the upper stage. So there's actually got tons more delta V than I actually need, which is fine. That just means I can spend that later on. I can change my orbital inclination. I can, then use some of that delta V to actually get to Minmus. So it all ends up working out okay. So setting up my trajectory. Now I'm going to check to see what I do here, because I actually the this is changing my orbital inclination. That goes just fine. And I set up a burn for getting to Minmus. Rename the craft. And there's a thing that happens that I'm not quite sure why it occurs. That's a rather pretty shot, actually. But I end up almost completely missing Minmus, and I'm not quite sure what happens. Because I can tell that I'm pointing in the right direction. I'm pointing at the maneuver node, so that's me losing the final part of the launch stage. And I've so long, this then goes for like 7 minutes, so you can see me, I'm eating an apple and stuff like that. Because I just have so much, this is like a 7-minute burn. That looks utterly ridiculous sped up to this. I should possibly have taken away my face at this point. Yeah, so 7 minutes. And everything just looks fine. I'm actually doing Japanese homework at this point. That's why I'm not even staring at the screen. I've put on an alarm from Kerbal Alarm Clock. I put on an alarm to let me know that I should be paying attention to the screen again. But I am not sure what goes wrong at this stage, because somewhere along here, as things count down and I start, I need to start paying attention again. Which is around about now. I zoom out and I go have a look at Minmus, and there you go. I've got there's my encounter and all that kind of stuff. And you can kind of see that I'm actually not quite heading towards it. And I'm not quite sure what's going on, and the burn just keeps going and going and going and going and going until I actually get a huge, I get an escape velocity. I just kind of kept going with the burn that I had on the grounds that, surely it must be right. But, no. So I have to send up a correction burn, which is nearly 300 delta V, which presumably means that I actually end up wasting nearly 600 delta V, because it's 300 delta V. I probably went 300 delta V over, and now I have to claw that back. So I'm not quite sure what happened, because I was pointing at the maneuver the node the whole time. Yeah, not quite sure what happened there. So I have to go do that maneuver and slow myself down to the extent that now I'm getting an encounter again. And I was worrying about whether or not I was going to have enough delta V, because obviously I've wasted a whole bunch going in the wrong direction, and now I have to go put that all back. But, there we go. There's the maneuver I ended up with. Seemed happy with that. That was a bit of a strangeness. I'm not quite sure what happened there. So, off we trot, cheerfully heading towards Minmus and waiting for the SOI change to occur. And then at this point I start looking around and seeing where I might be landing, checking the science, checking the biome map of Minmus. So I'm seeing which areas have science still needing to be done. So I'm aiming for either the Great Flats or the Greater Flats. I can't remember. I think I end up on the Great Flats, I think. So I decided to do that burn, doing more camera tricks there. I decided on that burn is going to not only be my deorbit, but I'm going to start aiming towards the actual landing site. And that's another big long burn. So I'm doing more Japanese homework while that's going on. These, yeah, the nuke engines really, high efficiency, but they take ages to go anyway. So there you go. Yeah, I'm kind of looking at that, going, yeah, quite pleased with that. Playing around with it, seeing if there's anywhere else I can go. Try and bring myself down to where I want to be. Grab some science while I'm there. Setting up a burn, so I've decided to land on those flats there. And so I'm just adjusting where the maneuver node starts to therefore adjust when I start my burns, because obviously I don't want to miss the flats entirely. And there was a moment when I thought that might be the case. So you can see me adjusting for trying to constant altitude burn and then thinking, no, I don't think I want to do that.
So I'm aiming at the horizon rather than anything else. Right. Alrighty, the other way. Alrighty then. Right, I'm gonna go. No, retrograde. Mostly I'm just trying to get rid of my horizontal speed. It's kind of difficult to do, given that it's so small. Alright, that's about, well, slightly over half a meter a second. I guess that's going to have to do. Where's my suicide burn distance? Right, okay. Oh, that's actually, oh, come on. Where are we going? Let's put our RCS on. Oh yeah, suicide burn delta V. I was looking at it, I was like, 58? That's really close. But it's actually suicide burn distance 2,000 meters, so I'm actually just fine. Right, down we go. Is that my shadow down there? That's my shadow down there. Just see my shadow. Put the lights on. Not actually going to be terribly useful for actually landing as such, but I'm going to put them on anyway. It's just a good habit to get into, I think. Okay, suicide burn distance just coming up to 1,000 meters. See my shadow. I'm not putting on the legs because I don't need to, because this is flat. So, well, theoretically anyway. Right, suicide burn distance coming down. Let's go for it at 100 meters. Slightly worrying noise. Now it's just going to be finding the precise... Oh, actually the lights are doing the opposite of helping. Oh, now. There we go. Let's go find ourselves here. Gently lower ourselves down. If I do the proper thing and put myself on surface mode, then I can actually use the retrograde marker to kill my velocity with the RCS, which is the thing I'm going to have to remember to do. I'm just going to slightly increase my thrust so I come down just that tiniest bit slower. And there we go. Ooh, landing on the Minmus. Landing on the Minmus, that doesn't sound right. Okay, yes. They're very happy, look at them happy smiley faces. Let's put out them. In theory I should go mining, but I've used almost none of my Delta V to get down here, so I may be able to go wandering. I've got a few, that's interesting. According to X-Science on Minmus, I've got a few things I haven't done on the Great Flats, which is where we are. So I haven't done the temperature scan, as you can see. I haven't done the temperature scan at all. I'm sure there are others. I think some of them for the Greater Flats, and I've got some that I can get more of, so I can do a mystery goo observation, do another one of those. And get more skynes. But I want to go check out. As you can see, I'm not even halfway complete, and there's a lot of places where I can get some extra science. I want to get all the science out of Minmus as I possibly can, because as of now, science becomes money. Oh, and I've got my contract complete. New surface outpost on Minmus. So that's 246,000 bucks, which is paid for this. So there you go, success, hurrah! I'm going to transmit that. I just kind of want to see if it tells me I get money right away. But anyway, thanks very much for watching. Please hit like and subscribe if you're enjoying these videos. Gives me plus 20 science, but that's interesting. Have I not? I must go check to see whether or not I've actually done that thing that gives me money for science. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you're enjoying the videos. Come visit nearlifedice at nearlifedice.com. We're also on Facebook and Twitter. And until next time, reach for the stars.